Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Brian if you're new around here, and in today's guide I'm going to be breaking down a returner's guide for New World. Here in 2022 we've just seen patch 1.5 go live, and I've seen a lot of people come back to the game and either wonder what they should be working on, what they should be focusing on, how to upgrade their gear, how the new endgame system works. And so I figured I'd take some time today and hopefully try to make it as easy and straightforward for you as possible. That way you can have the best experience, whether you decide to jump in and return now or in the future. Now, if you're looking for a guide that's about brand new, like you've never experienced New World before, note I'll be putting that out on the channel here in the coming weeks, so be sure to subscribe and like if you like this kind of content. This is a New World focused channel, so you'll only find the information about this game right here. So if you have any questions and this guide doesn't answer for you, sound off below, but we're gonna have some fun here first and foremost. And I think it's gonna be twofold. We're gonna start with some just general advice, and then we're going to go right into your expertise upgrade system, because depending on wherever you got off the train, whether you're level 60 or not, there's a lot of really good things to take a part in the game right now. But as a theory, what I generally tend to recommend is, I always say endgame starts at level 1, especially in New World. That means that whatever you're doing in the game itself is going to provide value. In fact, that with the player driven economy, if I just run down to the shop right here, you can find lots of things to sell and to buy. And so let's say you wanted to actually pick up a blunderbuss. Like, I would make sure you go check out the trading post. Anything that has the little raven with a coin in its mouth in any of the cities is going to help get you what you're looking for. If you ever want to know, you can always say can't equip, can't afford, just to keep it simple and easy. And that's why I say endgame begins at level 1. So that way, if you're looking for something specific, you'll be able to jump right in and go from there. Same thing kind of goes with selling. And there's so many improvements I can't wait to show you in this guide alone. But again, think of that mindset. Your end game begins at level 1. So even if you're not level 60, everything you're doing in this game is going to be generating value for you. And you can also use that to be able to make money on the markets, which will help you out when you do reach level 60. But like I said, I want to focus in on the idea of the expertise system and how that functions. Now, I'm not level expertise capped because I like to do a lot of fishing. Actually, speaking of which, if I just jump into character, I've almost hit level 200 on fishing. So be sure that when you pay attention to this channel, I'll be showing you guys how to do it fast, easy, and efficient. But expertise represents the highest level gear that you can roll. And there's ways that you can actually get this to work in your favor, and that's the expertise system. And that's essentially where you get the concept of gypsum. Let's go ahead and show you one of the gypsum kilns. Here, if I go ahead and interact with it, you'll see I'm looking for different gypsum orbs, and you might be wondering, how do you go about getting said orbs? Well, for the obsidian gypsum orb, what you're going to be looking to do is kill level 60 open world named bosses. You're going to need 3 gypsum drops in order to generate an orb. For your sapphire gypsum, this is going to kill final bosses in Guardian of Genesis or the Lazarus Instrumentality dungeon. That's how you're going to get sapphire. You only need 1 for a guaranteed orb. For the emerald gypsum, you're going to be needing to do your open trade skill aptitude reward containers. What is that, you might ask? Well, let's jump into it. So if I look into my trade skill, you can see here for my skinning and tracking, once you go to level 200, anything you do past that, you'll have these little pointers that will reward you one of those chests. And that essentially is where you're going to get your emerald gypsum from. So note that's just that aspect. Then your citrine gypsum, or citrine in this regards, open area caches. That's where you just need to have to, or excuse me, arena. Open your arena caches is where you're going to find those. I don't know why I said area. Open the arena. Then you have athmethesis. That's a fun word to say. Open your breach caches. That's how you're going to get those, and you need 7 of those. Ruby gypsum is going to be coming from your OPR, which you finish OPR with a certain skill, I think over 500 points, and you'll be getting a cache there. Diamond gypsum comes from like different world events, like we had the winter convergence and over the winter. Then we actually get these little items that you can kind of jump into. You see here, you can actually get 3 hidden stashes a day. This is going to come from gathering out in the open world. And this could be as simple as level 1 stuff. It doesn't necessarily matter, but you're able to get 3 of these a day. You just open them up and it's going to give you lots of little rewards. You can see here I got a diamond gypsum here as well. If I open up the next one, boom, another diamond gypsum, as well as some coin and other fun little gifts for me to kind of play around with. Now that I actually have the ability to craft an orb, I can go ahead and say craft. It's going to make myself the orb itself. And now we can actually pick what specific thing we want to focus in on. So if I say chest gear, it's going to have a cooldown of 23 hours. So note that you can't like necessarily grab all the orbs and spam one piece of gear all the way to the top, but you do have that ability. And so I can go ahead and hit craft. It's going to give me the item itself. And then I can go ahead and actually pull up my inventory and open the cache. Boom. 516, my expertise has increased. And if I exit, you get this nice little expertise, 516. So if I actually go look at the piece of gear that I got, it depends if I want to wear it. You can see here the gear score is up and it's got its own rolls and things of that nature on it. So feel free to kind of play around with that. See if this is going to be something that works for you. You might not necessarily even like or need that piece of gear. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have it on you. I can go ahead and salvage this, for example, and I still keep the 516 expertise. So that is essentially how you continue to decrease that expertise. Your overall expertise is listed here, and you have expertise rated per each weapon and for your gear. So that's kind of why I'm actually focusing in on gear over specific weapons, because and when it comes down to it, I'm just leveling up my weapons as much as possible. Currently, I've got my single hand, one-handed weapons all at cap. I'm working on my blunderbuss and working on my two-handers. Everything. The goal ultimately for me is to have all of these at level cap. In fact, if you're looking for a how to level these weapons up really fast, I have that guide already posted here on the channel. Just check the guide section and it should, or YouTube should hopefully help recommend it. Who knows at the end of the day. Now, when it comes down to your weapons, let's talk about that. Honestly, I would say play whatever weapon you have the most interest in. There's no real wrong choices. Ammo, when it comes down to ranged weapons now, is unlimited. So if I actually pull up the inventory here, I can see here I can equip ammo, and it's going to tell you what the damage modifier on that weapon ammo is. But if it ever runs out, I can still fire the weapons. I can still do what I need to do. I'm not going to be penalized for it. And it actually now stacks up to 1,000 and has no weight. So you're not going to sit here and being held back from those choices in and of itself. So I think that is a good thing to know. But like I said, Endgame starts at level 1. What should you be doing when playing New World? What should be your objective? And this is probably the hardest thing because it depends on what you're looking for in a game specifically. So please permit me to kind of talk about a few things. First and foremost, on level 60, you currently unlock Outpost Rush. 3v3 PvP is going to be coming, and you can queue up that from the mode screen as well. The other thing you have coming up here is that you can actually queue up for invasions and more from the map menu, except for in that case, it gave me a little bug. Of course, there's a little bug here and there. You have a bunch of different quests. So if you're not level 60, there are so many quests that you can do, and still within the game, you could still focusing in on leveling up your faction and leveling up the town board quests. These are going to feed you various different objectives, different rewards for the town, and upon doing these items, like I can go and accept that and complete, I can get some various different rewards. In this case at 60, not the most greatest experience, but still, it's going to help me rank up within the zone. And so in territory standing, you can continue to grind out different territories, and you could pick various different buffs that you want to have applied to your character in this regards, like increased storage, increased XP, which I wouldn't take at the moment, but we're hopeful some updates will be changing how XP has handled at level 60 in the future. The other thing on that note, though, is that when you're leveling up your the different zones and unlocking perks, you increase your storage. And we should actually talk about storage here real quick, because this is going to be real exciting for a lot of players when they're playing this game. You just run up to your different storage unit, and you can freely transfer items from any unit to your character and to any other unit as well. So if I grab this sword, let me just say I want to go put that in Mountain Home. I can grab that sword and drop that off, and no charge to me. It literally is ready to go. So you can start basically building out an unlimited storage set. If I go and pick on something like not even skills Everfall, where I have a lot of storage, you see here I've got an increase in storage cap because that's where I have my house. I have different treasure chests, and I've leveled up my storage a bit there, so I can actually just easily freely move and rearrange and do various things when it comes to storage. And so there's a value in ranking up in the region. You're going to be doing that naturally as you play, so that's going to be very helpful. And then finally, we talk again about, from just an objective perspective, doing your faction quests, especially your daily faction quest. Whee! Oh man, what a pro move. I didn't know if I was going to make that or not. All right, so you get 3 daily bonus parts for turning in different faction quests. And what you want to do, because again, we talk about gypsum. Like if I just jump in here to buy rewards, if you rank up all the way within your faction, you can actually buy a daily gypsum orb for 7,000 and no coin, just your faction tokens. So that's going to give you a gypsum orb, which at the time of this recording is broken, because they're saying I can purchase it in apparently 1 billion years, but it is what it is. We're sure that they'll say, we'll see how they get that fixed. But faction tokens now have a really good value. You can use these to buy also dungeon keys, even though that just note dungeon keys will be going away here in a future update pretty soon, and they will just become bonus reward keys applied to it. So if you go and you knock out your daily 3 faction bonus reward quests, that's going to be very helpful for you as well. Now, with all that being said, you might be like, great, Brian. Well, you know, one of my biggest problems was travel. Well, the beautiful thing is that they've reduced the recall time on your inn to 30 minutes. And that means you can easily get back to your inn. Also, same thing with your house. You can reset your cooldown with Azoth, which ends up being very helpful. You can also fast travel to any location for pretty much the maximum I've seen right now is 20. So if I go look at any of these zones where I need to fast travel, it looks like it's 20. They removes the weight limit, cost, and more. So you can see how easy it is to get around the world based off of where you've been, and it's cheap. In fact, you could basically almost right now consider fast travel being completely gone and done from the game, because I mean, like the cost of it, because I will just go and play. I'm constantly at 1,000. I started off as an experiment with like 50 Azoth when they made that change, and I've been after that I've been constantly at 1,000, because the enemies are going to freely reward you with various different bits of Azoth. Now, I do realize I missed out on a couple of gypsums. You can get topaz gypsum, which you'll require 10 to generate an orb. You're going to have to craft these from your tier 5 camp, and the recipe in and of itself is in your list. So just continue to do your tier 5, your camp mission, so you can unlock tier 5, and you can craft a topaz potion that when you fight level 55 enemies and up, you can actually get topaz gypsum. So that's the one I think I missed for you guys. I apologize. Another thing you can do in terms of like if you're looking for active things or goals within the game, if you go to your map and then you go to objectives, you can start to see here within distance, closest first, what you can be focusing in on and knocking out. So you can also say easiest first. You can say territory A to Z, or you can say type. So if you're looking for various quests to complete and knock out, you can actually use the in-game objectives focus to be able to find exactly what you're looking for overall. Along the sides that, you still got your dungeons. You actually have the new mutator system. So mutators are actually quite interesting. If you start looking at dungeons, they'll start to have kind of a weekly rotator, and you can see that going on down here. What this ends up doing with the Dynasty Shipyard is it allows for these modifiers to essentially make the thing a living hell. But it's a challenge in which you've got 10 tiers of the dungeon itself, which increases the difficulty, gives you some really good rewards, and helps you actually take your gear from 600 to 625 as a part of that progression system. And the same thing can be said with Outpost Rush. You can get Umbral Shards, which will allow you to take your progression from that 600 cap to 625 cap. Regarding kind of that whole ebb and flow of your expertise system itself. Now, let's see here. I'm just trying to make sure that I've covered everything we talked about. Map, company, your journal, your store. Within that, you can always look at see exactly what's going on. I would recommend playing with friends, but that's going to be my advice in terms of everything and anything. If you guys are looking for a company to play with, we put on Pleroma. You can also check our Discord link in the description if you're looking for some casual people to have fun, run content, fight some monsters, level up, and just generally have a good, fun time. I believe I've hit a lot of the high notes. There's a lot of little hidden things that the game has done in terms of its scalability, excuse me. Its overall improvements in performance, lots of hidden little quests and fun little things to discover, and just the ease of use and the quality of life updates that have been applied to the overall game itself. I hope that I've answered some questions if you've had any. If you guys have any other questions and this guide doesn't cover it, if you like a detailed crafting and gathering, stuff of that nature, don't worry, those are coming to the channel here in the near future. At the end of the day, I just want you to have the best time with the games that you play, whether it's this one or any other. Thanks so much for your time. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you next time, but until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh,